Welcome to Stories for Sleep, where the universe is told like a lullaby, and science becomes the gentle light that guides you into sleep. Tonight, when the world around you has quieted, and your mind still wanders among thoughts not yet put down, we will together step into a special journey, a voyage as soft as a breath, through the gentlest truths of the universe. The issue is not that you cannot sleep. It is that your mind continues to orbit on its own path, like planets that never truly stand still. And sometimes, it only needs a story soft enough, wide enough, beautiful enough, for that spinning to slow. The universe holds wonders, huge numbers, silent motions, stars that die, to scatter new light into space. And when we listen to them, something inside us also quiets. Lie down, relax your shoulders, and let me lead you along the most tender secrets of the cosmos, truths that can lull your mind back to its original state of calm. Tonight, we begin the journey with a question, simple enough to be frightening. How long has the universe existed? In textbooks, the answer is 13.8 billion years. A neat, round number, like a full stop. But the universe is not a human book. It is not written in chapters. It does not close with conclusions. It keeps opening new puzzles, like doors without hinges. And when we look deeper into the cold, dim lights drifting in the darkness of space, lights that have traveled billions of years before reaching our eyes, a strange thing appears. There are galaxies older than the universe, or at least older than the age we thought it was. In recent decades, humanity's most powerful telescopes from Hubble to James Webb have opened a moment of astonishment. We see galaxies only a few hundred million years after the Big Bang, yet large enough that by all expectations, they should have required billions of years to form. Stars too aged, galaxies too bright, structures too complete, like finding a 1,000-year-old tree in a forest that is only 200 years old. They are not deceiving us. They are simply reminding us, you do not understand me yet. I am older than your measurements. If those observations are correct, the universe may not be only 13.8 billion years old. It could be 17 billion years, 20 billion years, or even ageless, not in a romantic sense, but in a scientific one, as if we read a book and thought it was page 1, but in truth we are in the middle of the book and previous pages are missing. That thought does not frighten us. On the contrary, it brings a strange gentleness, a relief in knowing that we do not need to understand everything to still be part of it. The universe does not demand we decode it. It only invites us to observe, like looking out over the sea at night. You do not know how deep the ocean is, but you can still peacefully watch the waves. Light is the slowest story of the universe. It never hurries. To reach our eyes, light from ancient galaxies must travel billions of years. In silence, without rest, without stopping, with no escort, and no reception. It passes through regions of space where there is nothing but primordial darkness, where time seems to congeal. Then, by some miracle, the light passes through the lens of a tiny human-made satellite, falls onto a pixel on an electronic chip, and is seen by a human eye. When we look at those stars, we do not look at the present. We look at history. We look at a time before the Earth existed, before the sun ignited, before the first chemicals combined into life. The universe sends us letters of light, and all we need to do is open our eyes to read. What makes the universe mysterious is not only size, but silence. There is no air in space, no wind, no sound. If you stand on a distant galaxy, among dying and reborn stars, you would hear nothing. The universe is not noisy. It is silent to the absolute. And sometimes, That brings a sense of healing. When we know there is a place so peaceful, we feel the burden in our chest put down, as if the universe says, "It's okay. You do not need to hurry. Breathe. Slow down. Like me." The human mind always seeks solutions. But the universe was not made to be a problem to solve. It is a poem, the silence between heartbeats, a picture without a frame, a door opening into infinity. And there are questions we may never answer. Does the universe have a beginning? Does it have an end? Does time always flow in one direction? How many parallel universes are there? Why is there something rather than nothing? These questions do not make us anxious. They make us still, like standing beneath a starry night. We can only fall quiet, for that silence is the most beautiful answer, not in the biological sense, but in the sense of motion, rhythm, evolution. Galaxies drift. Stars are born and die. Space expands. Matter self-organizes into large structures like a colossal neural network. Every speck of dust, every photon, every atom is on a journey. Nothing stands still for a second. And when we reflect on this in the night, we realize a gentle truth. Nothing truly dies. It merely transforms shape, form, and light. The universe continually renews itself, like the long breath of an infinite being. The universe does not demand we understand it. It only asks us to open our hearts. Let these unanswered questions drift gently into you, like distant stars, quietly falling onto the lake of the mind. Let me lead you further, to where the first light kindled in the darkness, where everything began and is still beginning, up to now. If the universe may be older than we suppose, then perhaps many things inside it are unlike anything we have imagined. In many people's thinking, each planet orbits a Sunday, like Earth, orbiting the Sun, like cold Mars circling its smaller path, with icy Uranus and Neptune embracing their turns. But out there, in soundless space, without warmth and unseen, exist planets without their own stars. They are called rogue planets, wandering planets, drifting worlds where darkness is the only home. No one knows how many there are. New models suggest the number of rogue planets may exceed the number of stars in the universe. Imagine, for each star you see in the sky, there may be tens or even hundreds of ownerless planets, crossing space like ancient spirits, silent, cold, but persistent. Some were flung from orbits by gravity. Some never had a star. Some carry subsurface oceans under thick ice, and perhaps inside those oceans, life keeps itself warm by geothermal heat, needing no light, no day or night. Billions of worlds, with no sunrise, no sunset, only darkness stretching to eternity. But that darkness is not frightening. It is calm, soft, warm in another way, like a vast blanket covering sleeping souls. Because humans sometimes resemble those planets. There are moments we do not belong to any orbit, feel unseen by any light, not knowing where we are going, only that we drift. And in that darkness, the heart still beats. Life continues. Like those worlds no sun, yet still existing. Not every place that has light contains life. Not every place that someone watches you gives you meaning. The universe embraces everything, including what no one looks at. Maybe the universe did not begin and end only once. Maybe the universe repeats, not like a clock, not like seasons, but like endless long cycles of the universe's breath. Physicists call these ideas cyclic universe, big bounce, oscillatory universe, eternal rebirth model. The universe expands, then contracts, then expands again. like the infinite breath of an unbounded organism. If so, the Big Bang is not the beginning. It is only one breath, one pulse, a moment in the endless symphony of space-time. Like a heart beating, the universe also pulses in its own way. Expand, spread cool. Contract heat, compress. Then explode again, create a new universe. No death is final, only a chapter opening the way for rebirth. Perhaps the universe has lived countless times before us. Maybe the light of these stars now is merely a story repeated through many cycles. Imagine an ancient universe full of stars, planets, life, slowly compresses like a tired lung. Everything shrinks into a point smaller than a speck of dust. Then it bursts into the bright sphere of a new universe. Not destruction, not an ending, but metamorphosis, transformation, rebirth, like winter melting into spring, like darkness necessary for new light to exist. Even in annihilation, the universe seeks to return, like a long poem, without a terminal period. The universe is not afraid to begin again. Why should we be? When we look at a cyclical model of the cosmos, we learn a deep lesson. No failure is final. No loss is absolute. Even when everything collapses, matter is reborn in a new form. The universe does not allow despair to last forever. It always begins again. And we too are like that. Tired, broken, having passed long sunless days, our bodies, minds, hearts still strive to recover, to keep living, like an exploded star that does not end in ashes, but yields gold, silver, oxygen, iron, the elements that nourish new generations of life. In the universe, there is no everlasting loneliness, only journeys longer than we imagine, journeys in darkness, but always leading to some kind of light. Because in the universe, everything follows its own orbit, even those that seem to wander from afar. If the universe can be reborn, if solitary planets can exist amid endless dark, what waits for us ahead? What operates in the darkness between stars? What nourishes light? What cradles the cosmos in an invisible embrace? Then, a moment of silence, like a comma between the wide sky. Let us go on, and let me lead you into the heart of space-time, where the greatest secrets beat quietly. Oh, before there were stars, before planets, even before the darkness you imagine as primordial, there was something dim, slight, and more ancient than all. The universe's first light. The universe we know today, with glorious spiral galaxies, familiar constellations, radiant planets, is only the last chapter in an infinite book. To understand how it truly began, we must return to the moment when the universe was only 380,000 years old. On the cosmic timescale, 380,000 years is like a blink. But it is the most important moment, the moment when light was free to travel for the first time. Before that moment, the universe was dense, hot, so thick that light was trapped. No stars, no dust, no planets, only primordial plasma, a blazing, colorless ocean. Then suddenly, as the universe cooled enough, electrons and protons combined into the first atoms, and light at last found a way out. That light still travels, still moves, still expands with the universe, and even today, 13.8 billion years later, it reaches human telescopes. We call it the cosmic microwave background, the CMB, the ancient microwave radiation, the universe's primordial fingerprint. That is not just light. It is the memory of the universe, the first breath of space-time. CMB is not brilliant like stars, does not twinkle like galaxies, does not warm like the Sunday. It is only a very gentle whisper from the oldest photons that have ever existed. Imagine every centimeter of space around you, in your bedroom, amid the city, or over the ocean, is blanketed by a tiny layer of light. It covers everything like a thin blanket, a layer of time's dust, a reminder that every place we stand today once lay within the cradle of the infant universe. In the dark, the CMB does not glow, but it is present, like a tender memory resting behind closed eyelids. You live inside an ocean of ancient light, light that traveled for more than 13 billion years, only to touch you, even though you cannot see it. And when the universe first brightened, things that no one imagined appeared. The first stars formed from pure hydrogen. The first galaxies were as small as dewdrops. The first explosions created carbon, gold, oxygen, and especially strange planets that seem like tales from astronomy's fairy tales. One of them is a diamond planet. There are worlds, not made of rock, ice, or gas as we know them, but made of diamond. 55 Cancri, a planet 40 light-years from Earth. Surface temperatures over 2,000 degrees Celsius. Its internal carbon is compressed so intensely that it crystallizes into solid diamond, not a single gem. A diamond planet. Imagine a world whose mountains are gleaming crystals, whose geological strata sparkle under the light of a nearby star. No life like Earth's, but a dazzling beauty of another kind, not for viewing, but to teach us that the universe is not limited by human imagination. The universe is not only beautiful, it is brave in the way it invents beauty. A planet with sideways glass rain, winds reaching 7,000 kilometers per hour, turning rain into sharp blades sweeping across the sky. A planet with molten iron rain, where metal vaporizes by day and falls like waterfalls of molten iron by night. A planet with oceans of lava, where the water is molten rock. A planet spinning so fast that its day lasts 4 hours. A planet rolling like an acrobat, with an axial tilt of 90 degrees. Each world is a variation on the universe's theme, as if space experiments with millions of different versions of the idea planet, and we have only seen a very small fraction. Ancient light is the universe's first memory. Strange planets are its wildest imagination. Between them lies the full story of infinite creation. Light tells us how the universe began. Planets tell us how far the universe can wander. And now, let me lead you deeper to where stars are born from the ashes of old worlds. If ancient light is memory, then starlight is prophecy. Come with me to where stars are born, dissolve, and sow seeds for life. Endue, images of ancient seas of light, diamond worlds, iron rain, magma oceans, linger in the listener's mind like little lights slowly drifting across the night screen. No longer planet, no longer light, but the shape of everything that exists. A question is placed gently, like a finger touching water. If the universe began, does it have an edge? No, the universe has no edge. Space can curve, so you can keep going straight and return to the point where you started. Human imagination is bound by familiar shapes, spheres, boxes, tubes. We think things have borders, inside and outside, beginnings and ends. But space does not behave that way. The universe is not a room, not a bubble drifting in nothingness, not an invisible box expanding forever. It is a flexible fabric, stretchable, bendable, foldable, and even capable of reconnecting to itself. Just as if you walk straight across Earth's surface, you will never fall off an edge, because Earth is curved. Space is similar, but on a higher, more complex level, and beautiful enough to make the listener dissolve into imagination. In classical geometry, a straight line is the shortest path between 2 points. But in the universe, a straight line is curved, and space decides its own shape. When mass and energy appear, space expands, bends, like fabric bowed under a stone. Empty, a galaxy big enough, can curve the space around it. A black hole heavy enough can bend space so that light must change direction. A galaxy cluster can warp space like a mirror, molding an image. But the most wondrous idea is this. If space curves in a particular way, you might go straight and come back to your starting point, like walking around a sphere, but in 3 or even 4 dimensions. This is no longer ordinary science, but a place where science and imagination become one. When space can curve, the universe can have strange shapes. Spherical universe. Walk straight, forever return to the beginning. No edge, no center, no outside. Donut-shaped universe. Go one way, appear behind yourself. Go another, appear somewhere unexpected. Space, like a magic trick. More complex manifolds, 4-dimensional, unpaintable, unimaginable, only describable through mathematics. The universe does not need us to understand it to exist. It only needs us to open our hearts to behold it. No route required, no map necessary, no need to find the edge of the universe. Because there is no border to worry about. You cannot fall out of space. You cannot touch an end. You cannot get lost in absolute nothingness. The universe is not a labyrinth. It is a giant embracing hand that closes softly on itself. Space is like a room without doors, yet it imprisons no one. It simply cradles everything gently. When we hear about diamond planets and ancient light, the universe starts feeling like a myth. But here, when space curves, when you can walk forever and return, when the universe has no boundary nor outside, the story becomes a fairy tale. But the miracle is, it is not a tale the storyteller invented, not a fantasy, not supernatural. It is a true fairy tale, written by Einstein, by mathematics, by telescope observations, by light's quiet paths across billions of years. The universe is so vast that imagination must run to catch up, but gentle enough that the heart still feels sheltered. That is science's soporific, knowing that out there is vaster than all our worries, yet softer than our fears. Like space, your life also curves in ways you do not expect. The road you travel is not always straight. You may think you are wandering, lost, but one day you return to where the heart needs to be. There is no edge to the journey, no absolute end, only returns, loops, and rebirth. Just like the universe, if space can curve, what happens where it curves most strongly? What occurs when space folds into an absolute pit where even light cannot escape? Follow me into the place where darkness is not an end, but a door to the universe's deepest secrets, black holes. Space had just curved like a soft cloth in the previous chapter, and while the listener drifts in the notion of walk straight and return to yourself, the voice shifts gently like a night breeze over the lake. But if space can curve, what happens where it curves so strongly that all familiar laws are distorted? A small silence opens, as if the universe draws a long breath. Then the narrator leads us through another door, a land no longer belonging to human intuition, where physics becomes abstract poetry, where beauty and terror blend like silver mist at night. This is the realm of extreme worlds, places whose mere description makes the mind feel both diminished and expanded. In some places of the universe, there are rains whose each drop weighs more than Mount Everest. This is no longer water rain, not ice, not hail, but neutron rain, the tiny fragments of atoms compressed to densities beyond any civilization's imagination. A teaspoon of neutron star material weighs 4 billion tons. It does not just break ordinary logic, it melts the notion of weight in your head. On such worlds, density is so high that physics no longer operates as we know it. Matter has no gaps. Light bends around surfaces. Time runs slower. If Earth has rain, then the universe has rains where each grain is an entire mountain. This is not merely data. It is a feeling, the feeling of standing before something beyond thought, yet strangely peaceful when watched from afar. When we look up, we see light moving in gentle lines, but the universe does not run on such simple straight paths. Mass can bend space, and when space bends, light bends too. Light, the thing we thought pure, also curves like a stream winding around stones. And a galaxy large enough or a cluster can become a gravitational lens, bending light from galaxies behind it. This creates strange scenes, the same galaxy appearing multiple times in the sky, in different shapes, stretched into streaks of light, or distorted into a perfect ring, the Einstein ring. There, science touches magic, but a real kind of magic, the magic of space, bending itself and turning light into an artist. The universe does not reflect images. It whispers its own memories back. Neutron stars spin 700 times per second. Pulsars flash light like the heartbeat of cosmic monsters. Dwarf galaxies drift like ghosts through space. Magnetic fields strong enough to split atoms in two. In those places, every notion of normal melts away. Time curves. Distances become uncanny. Light is trapped. Gravity becomes an unspoken tongue. But instead of fear, the narrator makes these things a melody. The universe is not trying to frighten you. It is simply so vast that everything we call logic becomes specks of dust on the head of truth. But you need not understand everything to feel its peace, because even the universe's most violent phenomena operate by the same rhythm, the rhythm of continuation. And each notion, neutron rain, bent light, dissolving logic, converges into a message. Even in chaos, the universe sings a very orderly song. It is a song of matter rotating, of light moving through space, of time opening and closing, of life blooming in a small corner like Earth. If extreme worlds can be tranquil in their own laws, so can you. You are part of that universe, part of this song. And this is only the surface of wonder, because there are places where light cannot escape, where time stands still, where the universe hides its final secrets. Come with me into the darkest heart that the universe has ever made, black holes. If those extreme worlds show us the universe's ferocity, the following things reveal its fragility. Imagine the entire universe in darkness, a black sea after the ancient light of the CMB has drifted away, and before any star has yet to sparkle. That is the cosmic dark ages, a long night lasting hundreds of millions of years. Then suddenly, a speck of light bursts in the dark. Then another, and another, and another. The first stars, called Population 3, were born like fireworks of the early cosmos, but they were unlike any stars we know today. They were bigger, hotter, fiercer, shining, 1,000,000 times brighter than the Sunday. When the first star lit, the universe not only brightened, it woke and fit. Those giants are so vast that several lived only a few million years, then exploded as supernovae spreading heavy elements to make planets, seas, trees, and even the blood in your body. They are the ancestors of every light, the first brushstrokes on the canvas of the universe. If the sun is a candle, then the first stars were torches lighting the sky like an endless dawn. It is hard to imagine a place with only a few stars, floating amid an endless black ocean. Nor large galaxies, no structure, no spiral motion, no color, only solitary points of light, each separated by millions of light years. Like campfires in an infinite desert, the universe once felt lonely, but it still chose to shine. We, in our own journeys, also have such moments. A tiny spark amid uncertainty, yet still deciding to shine. But it is not only the first stars that tell us about the universe. There are things that never shine, but are always present. Dark matter and neutrinos. Those things we cannot see, but are passing through you right now. Dark matter does not shine. It does not absorb light. It does not interact with anything familiar. We do not see it. We do not touch it. We do not hear it, measure it, perceive it in ordinary ways. But it is there, holding galaxies together, keeping stars from flying apart, preserving the structure of the universe from dissolving into dust. If light is the universe's laughter, then dark matter is its embrace. Oh, because of it, galaxies have shape. Because of it, spiral arms do not unravel. Because of it, the universe does not become scattering wind. Dark matter does not dazzle like light. It performs maintenance. Neutrinos are so light, they might as well be weightless. They are born from nuclear reactions in the sun, from supernova explosions, and from the earliest moments after the Big Bang. Each second, 60 billion neutrinos pass through your body, and you do not feel a thing. No touch, no collision, no interaction, no trace left. They are ancient ghosts, freely wandering the universe, silently passing through planets, people, metal, rock, even Earth's core. We are never alone. The universe always passes through us. The first stars teach the universe how to shine, but invisible particles teach the universe how to stand. Light is the picture we see. Dark matter is the frame holding everything intact. Neutrinos are the softest whispers, present in every moment, everywhere, always. The universe is not only built of things we can name, it is also constructed from things we have yet to see. And that is a very human notion. Life is also made of unseen things. Silent kindness, wordless memories, connections as fine but persistent as threads of light. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your body as a place the universe passes through. Ancient light on your skin, invisible particles in every cell, secrets of the first stars in your breath. The universe is not out there. It is here, in your blood, in your bones, in your gaze, in the dreams drifting like night clouds. If the first light awakened the universe, and if invisible particles are passing through you, then there is one more peculiarly beautiful thing. The universe's expansion. It is what makes things move apart at accelerating speed. Let us go further, to where the universe expands like a gentle song, where space opens beneath your feet, like the softest dream of night. The universe is not only brilliant, it also has ghosts, strange things that even light cannot touch. Imagine a galaxy, a spiral world awash in light, hundreds of billions of suns drawing gentle arcs like cream spilling across the sky. But then, imagine the opposite, a galaxy with no stars, no light, no color, no life, just a mass of dark matter drifting through space, detected not by shining, but by pulling other galaxies with gravity. These are called dark galaxies. galaxies without stars. There are places in the universe that live but do not light, like souls drifting quietly through the night. No one knows why they did not form stars. No one knows how long they persist. No one knows what stories they tell. They drift silently, like ghost ships in the night ocean of the cosmos. The CMB, the universe's ancient light, is the lingering echo from the earliest times. It is smooth, soft, even, like a uniform whisper covering the entire sky. But there is a region, colder, quieter, more silent than the rest. People call it the cold spot, an odd chilly patch. No one knows why it is there. Some think it is the trace of multidimensional universes touching. Some suggest it is a supervoid, where space is almost empty. Some believe it is evidence of unknown physics. It is a scar on the skin of space, or perhaps simply a place where the universe paused and took a deep breath. The CMB cold spot is proof that the universe is imperfect, and that imperfection makes it beautiful, like a melody with a few low notes left over. From starless galaxies to the cold spot of the early cosmos, the narrator gently draws the listener back to humanity's home, a subtle, seamless movement. Not only distant things are strange, the things closest to us are changing daily. The moon, Earth's oldest companion, the gentlest lamp in the night, the silent shadow controlling tides, the rhythm of the oceans, and even human sleep. But it is moving away from us. Each year, the moon drifts 3.8 centimeters farther from Earth, slow enough that no one feels it, but steady enough to be like a gentle parting no one wishes to speak of. Like two old friends who danced together for billions of years and are now letting go, little by little. If you've ever wondered why something familiar leaves your life, remember that even the Earth feels that. A starless galaxy, a cold spot in the CMB, the moon drifting away. Three stories that seem unrelated but share a common message. The universe is stranger than we think. Starless galaxies about existence without light. The cold spot in the CMB marks time's scars. The moon moving away speaks of quiet change in the nearest cosmic neighborhood. The universe is not only expanding, it is changing in ways we cannot see. And similarly, inside each person, there are tiny movements, cold regions, dark pockets, things that leave before we can name them. The universe is woven from light, but also from voids, things we can see and things we never see. And among all these strange things, there is an even greater mystery. The universe's accelerating expansion, the force that is making everything move apart faster each day. Come with me to touch dark energy, the force stretching space like a breathing blanket. From ghost galaxies, the CMB's odd chill, and the moon's slow drift, the story flows like a night river, slow, even, deep as ink to an even deeper region of the cosmos. What we have seen is the surface of mystery, but there is another level, where the universe not only is silent, it vibrates. To understand the universe, sometimes we must look at what we never see. This chapter is about space itself, not stars, not planets, not black holes, but the underlying fabric of all existence. In everyday thought, we imagine space as empty, a place without air, without light, without sound. But modern physics whispers a different truth. Space is not empty. It is full of invisible fluctuations, a thin, light life that is always present. These fluctuations are called quantum fluctuations, tiny vibrations, so small, no human eye can see, so fast, they sound like light's whisper in every cubic centimeter of space you breathe. countless pairs of particles and antiparticles appear and vanish. They exist for a moment, shorter than the blink of a photon, then annihilate themselves. Though space never stands still. It rises and falls, like a moonless sea at night, when no one watches, even in absolute silence. The universe moves. Quantum fluctuations are not mere background noise. They create force, mass, structure, even existence itself. These vibrations determine where electrons stand, how atoms bond, which paths light follows, how much energy and mass a fundamental particle has. That means all matter in your body, everything you touch, all the light you've ever seen, are flowers of invisible vibrations. Space is not empty. Space carries the universe in every moment. You are not drifting in void. You are cradled by an ocean of infinitesimals, moment by moment. If space can vibrate, then time can stretch. Near a black hole, where gravity is strong enough to warp space, like wet paper being crumpled, time slows. If you stand near the edge of a black hole, a minute for you might be decades for someone far away. Time becomes like rubber, stretched, elongated, softened. Time is not a straight stream. It is breath longer when you approach the universe's secrets. A soft truth. Time passes fastest where gravity is weakest, slower where mass is large, almost stops at a black hole's edge. If you fall into a black hole, you will never see yourself hit bottom, because, for you, time nearly freezes, but to an outsider, you fade into eternal dark. Both are true. Both are proof that time is not the same for everyone. Like emotions, like pain, like nights without sleep. Invisible fluctuations show us that space is alive. Time stretching near a black hole shows time is not fixed. Space and time are not separate. They are the same cloth space-time, woven from quantum vibrations, knotted by gravity. You do not stand in space. You do not drift in time. You lie in a soft hammock, woven from both. You lie in the lap of space-time, like a child in a mother's arms. The strange thing is, the universe's invisible things are very similar to the mind's invisible things. Quantum fluctuations, like tiny feelings we have not named. Time dilation, like how we feel life. Happiness passes quickly, sorrow slowly. A sleepless night, as long as a season. Gravity bending time, like the weight of a memory aging you, or the weight of a love-making moment stretch. The universe is not only the sky, it is a mirror of the mind. If space always vibrates, if time can bend, what lies beyond? There is something stretching the universe, pulling space-time like breath. It does not shine. It does not collide. It leaves no trace. If space can vibrate, if time can bend, does light, the most fragile thing we know, hide something greater? From Earth, the Milky Way looks like a silver ribbon across the sky, a tranquil ribbon so complete, it seems perfect. Even our galaxy is just a tiny speck in the deep dark. Nearly 400 billion stars, thousands of nebulae, countless worlds, yet unnamed. Still, only a small, shining core within a vast halo. That halo is many times the galaxy's size, surrounding it like a spiritual atmosphere, but entirely invisible. It contains stars older than the galaxy, streams torn from small galaxies, dark matter cloaking like a black cloak. If the Milky Way is a bright city, then the halo is a faint continent, stretching beyond human sight. We live on a speck of light, and that speck is only a speck of dust in the night. In every sci-fi film, the zoom in. But in these lullabies of the universe, we do the opposite. We zoom out. When we pull far back, very far, beyond measures of years and light, the spiral arms blur into a haze. The luminous core becomes a pinpoint. The central structure fades. Hundreds of billions of stars melt into one another. Ultimately, a galaxy, the home of billions of possible life-bearing worlds, becomes a small dot, like dust hanging in a night lamp. All the stories, all the suns, all humanity's laughter and tears lie within a quiet speck of light. That is the universe's beauty. Great and small coincide. The Milky Way's halo is not light. It is darkness, but not deathly darkness. It is where the oldest stars remain, markers of memory, where dwarf galaxies torn apart leave traces, where stellar streams lie like ink strokes in the universe's diary. It is the galaxy's expanded soul, where light once lived, died, and returned. The narrator softly says, "A galaxy has a body, but it also has a soul. And we, a tiny species in a small solar system, live upon the edge of a spiral arm, about 26,000 light-years from the center, far enough to avoid being swallowed by the giant black hole, close enough to see the core's swirling light when the night air is clear. These eyes can see things that no longer exist. The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, does not only look further than any other telescope, it looks back in time, because light takes time to travel. A galaxy 13 billion light-years away means James Webb sees its 13-billion-year-old past, when Earth did not yet exist. Those galaxies may now have changed, merged, exploded, torn apart, or ceased to exist. But their light still travels to us, like letters sent from a distant past, silently flying through the night. Sometimes, light outlives the thing that produced it. That is the universe's saddest beauty. The remains of galaxies keep shining, though they long since vanished. When James Webb photographs a galaxy, it does not photograph the present. It photographs memory, a memory older than Earth's history, older than any life that has existed. The images JWST brings home: young galaxies forming, the first stars bursting, strange structures, unimaginable, voids in the CMB map, clouds of gas making planets. But there is something deeper. We see things that are dead by light that is still alive. And that is what makes the universe gentle. It keeps everything alive through light, even when their origins are gone. We are like that too. Light from old versions of us continues in others' memories. Things we thought gone still live somewhere in a story, a song, a recollection. The beauty in us sometimes outlasts the moment that created it. Lost galaxies leave light, and your versions, gentle, fragile, strong, remain in someone still traveling. The universe teaches us nothing truly vanishes. It only changes residence. Light goes on, memory goes on, love goes on. If the Milky Way is a tiny speck, if we see shadows of lost galaxies, then what is making everything move away from each other? The universe is not still. It is expanding faster and faster. There is something stretching everything. Light as a breath, but stronger than all forces in the universe. We call it dark energy. In that hush, something reveals itself, a thing both familiar and cosmic. Remember, light can outlive its source. A galaxy can be larger than what the eye sees, and the universe may contain more than we suspect. The universe is not just emptiness. It is a network, delicate, connected, rhythmic like your own brain. Imagine you stand in space. No sound, no gravity, only infinite darkness and specks of light like glitter on velvet. If we zoom out far enough, galaxies cease to be isolated spirals. They arrange themselves into a colossal web, threads of light linking galaxy clusters together, forming a structure identical to the neurons in a human brain. The universe is not randomly scattered. It has the shape of thought. The cosmic web shows bright nodes like neuron, connecting filaments like synapses, empty voids like gaps in the brain, intersections like processing centers. Strangely, the pattern, density, and distribution mirror the human brain's layout, not to make us deluded, but simply because nature prefers optimal structures. And sometimes, the optimal looks the same. If the brain uses electricity to transmit signals, then the universe uses light. From galaxy clusters, light travels like neural pulses. It hits cosmic dust, is bent, reflected, reddened, just as a signal travels across folds, networks, and fluids in the brain. When a star explodes, it sends powerful signals into surrounding space like an electromagnetic storm. When two galaxies collide, the cosmic circuits rewire, like the brain forming a new memory. When a star dies, it leaves matter for the next generation, like the brain pruning old connections to make way for new ones. The universe does not merely move. It learns, remembers, transforms, gives birth, and rebirth. If you watch long enough, the universe is not only like a brain, it behaves like one. As in the previous chapter we learned, the Milky Way is only a small luminous core in a vast halo. That halo is mostly dark matter, something invisible, non-reflective, non-thermal, yet present everywhere, keeping galaxies from disintegrating. It is quiet, unassuming, but more powerful than anything, just like the human subconscious, unseen, untouchable, unmeasurable by sight, yet directing behavior, memory, and emotion. Maybe the universe has its own subconscious, and we drift within it. When you wait to sleep, and the mind begins to dim, you step into your own soft, dark part. Like how galaxies are cradled by dark matter, it is not frightening. It is the safest place, where everything is held tight, where light does not get lost. If neurons send signals by electricity, if the universe sends signals by light, then smaller, lighter things pass through all matter, like fleeting thoughts. Those are neutrinos. Thousands of billions of neutrinos pass through your body every second. They travel through everything: Earth, the Sun, galaxies, almost as if matter does not exist. They are not blocked, not captured, not trapped. They simply go free, fast, noiseless. The narrator speaks with a voice light as silk. They are like the universe's smallest thoughts. Fleeting, thin, but always there. Humans think their minds are complex, but in truth, the universe thinks too, in its own way. Why does the universe resemble the human brain? Not to mystify, but to speak a gentle truth. We are made of the universe. So internal and external structures share the same language. When a galaxy emits light, when the brain produces thought, when a nebula births stars, when a brain fold births memory, they are all processes of arrangement, formation, connection. A star only dazzles when pressure compresses light. A human only shines when facing conditions that allow growth. A galaxy lasts when dark matter holds it together. A person stands firm when invisible supports uphold the spirit. A network of galaxies only becomes meaningful from afar. A life only becomes clear from the distance of time. The resemblance is not coincidence. It is kinship. Humans are a miniature of the universe, and the universe is a large mirror reflecting that. When you look up at the night, you are not only looking afar, you are looking at matter that once was you. A dead star made carbon. Carbon formed a body. The body thought. The thought looked at the stars. It is a perfect circle, a story telling itself, a symphony listening to itself. The universe is like the brain because it created the brain, and the brain resembles the universe because it is written in the same kind of light. We do not only exist in the universe, we are the way the universe looks back at itself. As this section closes, the music deepens, a calm, low like water. If the universe is a brain, what is its dream? Step into places where time melts, where space wrinkles, where black holes are not an end, but soft doors of the cosmos. If you put your ear to a star, if such an experiment did not vaporize you instantly, you would hear its hum. All stars vibrate. Their surfaces pulse, plasma churns. Sound waves run through their cores, giant beats that last minutes, hours. Those tremors cannot be heard by human ears, but scientists convert them into sound. The sun's sound is like a deep drum from the Earth's core. The sound of giant red stars is like a cello resonating through an empty valley. Young stars' voices resemble rain striking a sea surface. Stars do not only shine, they sing, and the world we live in, from the atoms in blood to light falling into the eye, is born from that song. The universe holds frequencies too low for human ears, vibrations lasting millions of years, waves broader than any orchestra we can imagine. There are gravitational waves from newly formed black holes, stretching like a dying star's final breath. There are oscillations from cosmic web filaments, like a space string plucked under the fingers of the cosmos. Physicists speak of these in dry language, but the storyteller speaks with a voice deep as the night's backdrop. Space has rhythm, time has rhythm, and the universe keeps balance by its own cadence. This is not music in a human sense. These are primordial vibrations, the heartbeats of vast space, songs no one hears, yet they persist, resonating over billions of years. In the prior chapter, we heard about the universe as a brain, synapse-like connections, vibrations like thoughts. If stars sing with light, then black holes sing with space. When two black holes collide, they create gravitational waves, a kind of instrument without strings, yet shaking the very fabric of reality. The sound is like bending metal, a drum stretched and lengthened, waves striking a shore that does not exist. Every gravitational wave is a song of death and rebirth. Two stars die, two black holes merge, a new melody is born. In the universe, endings always come with music. Not only stars and black holes, even the quietest planets have their own songs. Earth emits a sound, not by voice, but by radio waves from the Van Allen belts. Those noises sound like the whisper of water, the crackle of a small fire, the murmur of distant ocean waves. Jupiter gives off screams like electromagnetic storms. Saturn resonates like a prolonged flute. Neptune breathes steadily like a sleeping creature. The universe is filled with sounds not meant for human ears, but for existence. Every planet has a song, and each song is how it says, "I am here." On Jupiter, the great red spot storm has turned for centuries. If it were audible, it would be a perpetual booming drum, an endless thunder. On Saturn, hexagonal northern vortices create a steady metallic rhythm. On Neptune, winds blow faster than sound, producing long howls like torn silk. All these noises, these vibrations, are the music of faraway places, not to be heard, but to be felt by imagination as you lie with closed eyes. Just as you can feel a song even when its sound is barely there. On a larger scale, galaxies have their own beats. A galaxy rotates like a colossal vinyl, each revolution taking hundreds of millions of years, but still maintaining a steady tempo. When cosmic dust falls into a star, it creates soft, bright pulses, like musical notes falling into silence. When galaxies merge, light stretches into dim bands, like strings plucked too hard. Galaxies have no ears, but they compose music by shape, by light, by motion. Music does not require sound. It only needs repetition, carrying meaning. If the universe sings with light, then you sing with emotion. Sadness is a low note. Joy is a bright tone. Hope is a long chord. Memory is the lingering resonance after a song ends. Your body creates a steady music too. Heartbeat, breath, small electrical currents in the brain, the elasticity of blood vessels, all combined into a private symphony only you can produce. And placed next to the universe's music, it is not smaller, it is only more delicate. You are not just listening to the universe, you are harmonizing with it. Stars sing, planets whisper, galaxies chant, the universe sings. And the question is, where does that song go into the dark? There are places light cannot escape, cannot flee, cannot sing anymore. Come into the place where sound stops, where light sleeps, where space folds into an infinite moment. If stars sing with light and planets murmur by magnetic fields, then another kind of music, deeper, slower, more ancient exists when two extremely massive objects, two neutron stars, two black holes, or ancient remnants spiraling inward. The universe does not merely brighten, it vibrates. Space and time, once as still as a boundless lake, turn into a vast membrane struck lightly. Circles ripple, not on water, but throughout reality's fabric. Those are gravitational waves. They are invisible drumbeats, the narrator whispers, the pulses of a universe stirring. They spread in every direction, pass through every planet, every star, every galaxy, pass through you. Though you do not feel them, they are minuscule, changing space by less than a proton's width. But small does not mean weak. A gravitational wave from two merging black holes carries energy equal to the entire light of the universe in that moment. Massive drumbeat, struck in absolute silence. The universe's oldest gravitational waves are still passing through this cosmos. Space still holds the noise of the Big Bang, the primordial vibrations when the universe was born. No instrument is older, no song is more ancient. It is the Genesis Symphony. Every photon, every electron, every atom, every star, every planet, every later life was written from those first ripples. Those initial oscillations have not ceased. They travel on across 8 billion years of expansion, through thousands of generations of galaxies, through countless stellar deaths and rebirths. And today, while you breathe, those echoes still glide through your body, gentle as a lip touching a night lake. A curious truth: gravitational waves make no sound. Space has no air to transmit noise. The universe still resonates, not with sound, but with motion, not with instruments, but with the stretching, compression, and release of space itself. The universe's silence is not emptiness, but the silence of a song played on the structure of reality. Invisible drumbeats ring though no one hears, but the universe feels them, time feels them, space feels them, and if you listen with imagination, With the stillness of mind, with a slowed breath, you too can sense it, a very light feeling, like someone tapping a rhythm on the world's soul. When a gravitational wave passes, space contracts, expands, then returns. You do not feel it, but the universe does. Everything from planetary orbits to atomic surfaces is nudged. You are part of that music. Your body moves with the drum beats of space-time. Though tiny, they reveal a gentle truth. You are not separate from the universe. You vibrate with it, like a leaf, quivering in invisible wind, like water rippling from a distant drum, like your heart beating to your own breath. There is something beautiful about the thought. A universe without ground, without air, without sound, still manages to sing. Gravitational waves are physical poetry, the music of time, the echo of every motion that exists. If stars are string instruments, planets flutes, galaxies choirs, then gravitational waves are the steady drums, never stopping, giving the universe's music, structure, rhythm, and breath. You are hearing a song no one ever heard, because it is not meant for hearing, it is for feeling. If the universe can vibrate, what happens when it vibrates too strongly? When its tone is no longer a wave, but becomes darkness? There are places where waves cannot escape. Space collapses into a single point. Time stops. That is where the music falls silent, and also where the universe's sleep begins. There is a great secret the universe gently tells those who listen. Nothing truly ends. Even light. Amid the cold nothingness, where there is no sound, no direction, no distinct time, clouds of gas and dust, the remnants of stars dead billions of years ago, slowly gather. They coalesce, touch gently, compress, hate. No one hears, but a new star breathes for the first time. It is not a blazing explosion, but the quietest beginning in the universe. Two hydrogen atoms gently merge, embrace, and expand light. A star's life always starts in darkness, like sleep giving birth to dreams. And like humans, every star is young, matures, ages, and finally dies. But that death, noted in a voice very low, is not an end. In the universe, death takes many forms. Some stars age by breathing strongly for the last time, expelling light and glowing dust like fireworks. They become planetary nebulae clouds in the forms of lotus, rings, butterflies, with pale blue, violet like late moon glows. Other stars end with supernova explosions, so bright they outshine galaxies for a few seconds, then vanish completely, leaving a small core, heavy as a secret. And some stars die in total silence. No final light, no explosion, no dispersion. They collapse, shrink to a point imagination cannot hold, and become black holes. A bottomless point where time halts to listen to the dark. There are deaths so quiet, the narrator says, that nobody knows they were once light. And when two deaths meet, they create an echo strong enough to shake the universe. The listener feels the meaning. Stellar death is not only an end, but also composes the music of the cosmos. Yet black holes are not merely places where things vanish. They are the universe's recycling machines. Matter is shredded into its simplest forms, then after billions of years, blown into new clouds to form other stars. An end becomes a beginning. The universe discards nothing. It only transforms. The background sound is very soft, like waves from a distant shore, steady, vast, endless. Even a galaxy, the narrator whispers, does not live alone. Galaxies drift like giant islands in the ocean of night. When they meet, They do not shatter, vanish, or dissipate. They blend. From a distance, it looks like violent collision. But in truth, stars pass by each other like flocks of belated birds. No collision, only interleaving. Only gas and dust impact, compress, ignite, create thousands of new stars. A galaxy eating another galaxy is not violence, but how the universe creates new life, a form of coordination, en ascendance. But not every galaxy follows ordinary laws. There are galaxies so strange, they lack dark matter, the supposed skeleton of the universe. If dark matter is the invisible hand keeping galaxies intact when they spin, these galaxies are like bodies without bones, yet they persist, still rotate, still live. Scientists call them galactic anomalies, beautiful exceptions of reality. No one knows how they formed, or how they can stabilize without supporting forces. They exist like reminders from the universe. There are things you do not need to understand immediately. You only need to know they exist, and they are beautiful in their difference. All of this tells the same truth. The universe lives through cycles. Stars born, stars extinguished, galaxies meet, galaxies merge, dust disperses, dust collects, light disappears, light returns. No end is absolute, no beginning solitary. They follow one another, like the outbreath and inbreath of your own body. A life cycle of the universe is slower by billions of years, but reflects the human life cycle that unfolds in a few short decades. In that repetition, there is a soft consolation. You are not lost in a cold universe. You live inside a cycle larger than all fears. If stars can die and be reborn, then perhaps within everyone, a hidden light can return after every disappearance. A pause, longer, gentler, drawing the listener's mind into drifting, for the universe never abandons light. It just reshapes it and returns. When we look at the universe, we are actually looking at the past. Light is memory, and every memory has its own story. In the deepest darkness, where there is no language, no sound, and no footsteps of time, light still travels, slowly, patiently, soft as a colorless silk, and sometimes just a slight bend, like a soft sigh, is enough to reveal an unknown world. That is gravitational microlensing. When a planet passes in front of a distant star, its tiny mass bends the star's light. No one sees that planet directly with eyes, nor reflected light, no shadow, nor direct sign, only a very small ripple in light, so slight that if your heartbeat is too strong, you might miss it. Yet from that ripple, scientists know a planet is there, cold, lonely, but real. We find new worlds, not by grand gestures, the narrator whispers, but by the smallest glints, like the way we find ourselves in life's quietest moments. The story flows naturally from the bending of light to the nature of light itself, like a stream from a small brook into a vast sea. The light you see now may have left its source before Earth existed. Distant stars emit light centuries upon centuries ago, and now, after wandering through stretched and bent space, it reaches your single present second. Light is memory, and the universe's past keeps brightening minute by minute, not because it changes, but because we learn to look. James Webb shows us galaxies long dead millions of years ago, clouds of primordial gas, young stars breathing for the first time. All appear as if yesterday were projected again on the cosmos's mirror. The universe never disappears. The narrator says, It only arrives slower than we expect. From light and memory, the storyteller skillfully guides the listener's heart to a deeper truth, the universe's birth, death, rebirth cycle. In time too vast to imagine, what we call birth and death are no longer opposites. They merge, rotate, become a very slow dance, requiring humans to listen with interior stillness. Stars are born, then diffuse into dust. Dust drifts, then gathers into planets. Planets grow, then fall into stars. Stars explode, then leave gas to make new stars. Galaxies meet galaxies. They do not explode, not vanish. They blend to illuminate a younger generation of stars. The universe never stops moving, but all its motions are as soft as silk sliding across a hand. Each billion years, each rotation, each expansion cycle is the rhythm of an invisible hand that touches the structure of time lightly. If you look long enough, the narrator whispers, you will see the universe was never chaotic. It is dancing so slowly the human heart cannot keep the tempo. In the flow of billions of years, no death is absolute. Dust from stars that died quietly becomes planets that might host life. Light from stars extinguished millions of years ago still travels to us. Energy from a supernova compresses material to form the next generation of stars. The cold of darkness preserves the first molecules for life. Everything is conserved. Nothing is lost. Like an ancient song, the universe has repeated for tens of billions of years. No one truly disappears. We only change forms. You, I, the stars, the galaxies, all are different beats of the same song. If the universe can regenerate from light it once spent, then inside you there is a quiet light waiting to breathe again. We have just seen the universe move across billions of years. Now, let us enter the next journey, where light, time, and consciousness touch each other in a very small space. Inside your own mind, the universe is expanding, and with every minute, every second you listen, it ages another moment. In the next hundreds of billions of years, large stars will be first. They live fast and die quickly, flare like fireworks, then vanish. Small stars cooler, red, enduring, burn the longest. There are stars much cooler than the sun, yet they can live for trillions of years, quiet as a slow breath. But eventually, they too will fade, not with a bang, not with glitter, but with a gentle dimming, like a candle burning low, and you do not notice when it goes out. One day, the narrator whispers, the skies once bright will grow darker, not because something blocks them, but because there is nothing left to shine. That is not an end, just a long pause. From death, the narrator brings us to a gentle concept, cessation of birth. In the distant future, dust clouds will thin, star factories, nebulae, will disperse. Not enough matter remains to light a new generation. And so the universe enters an era of no new births, not because the universe doesn't want to shine, but because it has given all it has. A tender image arises. The universe like an old person, still beautiful, still vast, but hands no longer have the dust to kindle fires. As light grows sparse, what remains is time. Over quadrillions of years, the rhythm of the cosmos changes. Everything slows. Stars go dim. Galaxies fade. Light retreats into memory. Space becomes cold, yet gentle. Like a vast black blanket, the universe's expansion separates galaxies so far that light from one will never reach the other again. A feeling of loneliness spreads across space, but it is a beautiful loneliness, like a meditation cell in the cosmic desert. Sometimes, loneliness is not loss, it is the universe taking time to remember. In the far distant future, what remains are not stars, planets, or light, but tiny remnants, black dwarf stars, planets colder than dark, decaying protons, stray photons, continuing an endless journey. No sound, no color, no significant movement. That is not the universe's death, but its sleep. The universe does not vanish. It only rests, very long, very deep. A big question hangs in space. When every light has faded, is there anything left? The answer is not pure science. It is given in a voice lowered, fuzzy but hopeful, perhaps dark energy, perhaps black holes evaporating by Hawking radiation, perhaps quantum fluctuations still whispering, perhaps a big crunch, or endless expansion, heat, death, or, as some theories propose, the universe may be reborn from its own darkness. There is no certain answer, but the narrator does not try to explain, only whispers. Silence is the space where new possibilities are born. In the flow of billions of years, death and birth become an immensely peaceful dance. No tragedy, no parting, no real end. Everything is movement, very slow, very deep, very gentle. And as you lie listening in the dark, your heart, your breath, your whole body join that rhythm, the rhythm of a universe, both vast and tender. The universe will not go out in pain, but in the peace of a long breath. And now, when we have reached to the end of time, let us drift into the final chapter, where darkness is no longer frightening, but the place where the deepest peace resides. When the last star fades, the universe does not die. It simply becomes softer. Galaxies, once cities of spinning light in the dark, gradually lose structure. Not because they are destroyed, not because they collapse, but because the distances between stars increase. The universe stretches like a gently pulled fabric, evenly, continuously, persistently, across trillions of years. When no new stars appear, galaxies become quiet compositions. A few long-lived stars drift to the edges, like boats leaving the harbor, carrying the last weak light. The narrator speaks slowly. Galaxies do not die in explosions. They simply open and float into boundless space. Spiral arms that once embraced billions of stars fade like diluted ink on old paper, and then, at some time no one can mark, a galaxy is no longer a galaxy. It is only a faint dust of light, occasionally left in the dark, a soft disintegration. No pain, no drama, no tears, only a letting go of structure. In the following trillions of years, gravity, the sculptor of the universe, also weakens in the sparsest regions. Matter disperses, no longer dense enough to cling together. Everything drifts apart, like childhood friends growing up and going different ways. Even gravity cannot hold everything forever. A picture is painted, the universe like a dwindling river, exposing naked stones, cold planets, stellar remnants, lonely dust grains. After every star dies, every galaxy dissolves. One type of object endures into the darkness, black holes. They remain silent, like windows opening into strange space-time regions, like hearts quietly swallowing light. But the universe does not let anything keep its form forever, not even black holes. Through Hawking radiation, a process so tiny it takes 10 circumflex 100 years to notice. Black holes begin to lose energy. They do not explode, not collapse. not suddenly go out. They evaporate, as slowly as mist fading on a lake at dawn. Even the deepest darkness eventually softens and vanishes. Smaller black holes evaporate first. The supermassive ones at galaxy centers evaporate last, like the longest burning candles on the edge of night. Little by little, the universe returns, the energy locked inside black holes from eons before. When the last black hole disappears, the universe enters an unprecedented era, an era with no objects that can hold light or matter, a world without structure, no center, no shape, with no galaxies, no stars, no planets. Only remain stray photons, isolated electrons, quantum fluctuation, specks of energy, so tiny they seem non-existent. The universe at this point resembles a gentle breeze, invisible, untouchable, but known to pass. Time stretches into an endless ocean, no events to mark, no moments to remember. When everything dissolves, time becomes pure, a flow no longer interrupted by anything. This is not the universe's death, nor absolute nothingness. It's like the last moment before the deepest sleep arrives, empty, but filled with an ancient kind of peace. No light to see, no explosions to hear, no force left to hold anything, only silence, vast as the final breath of a song, 100 billion years long. Dissolution is not an end. It is the emptiness where something new can be written. The universe, in complete softening, becomes a pristine page, a blank, colorless canvas. No sound, no shape, yet full of potential. The universe was once brilliant light, then star-filled, then vast, then empty, and then quietly dissolved. But before the last light fades, it has given you one gift, the ability to see beauty at every stage of being. Let us take the final step, where darkness stops being frightening and becomes an embrace, holding sleep. When the last light fades, the universe does not die. It simply grows so quiet that all motion becomes whispers. Long ago, darkness was the gap between two stars, places where light had not yet reached, where darkness was just what had not been lit. But in a future so remote human language cannot express, night will not be a portion of the universe. It will be the whole universe. No stars, nor galaxies, no light, not even a speck, no objects with energy enough to warm a space as small as a pinhead. Everything becomes primordial, thin darkness, a veil of time itself. Yet strangely, there is no pain, no explosion, no tragic finale, only cooling, very slow, very soft, like a warm cup of tea, left until it becomes cold, without sound. This darkness is not a thief of life. It is a special sleep of the universe, a sleep lasting countless trillions of years, a sleep in which all movement becomes so subtle it is almost still. Time continues to flow, but there is no matter to record that flow. Nothing left to measure, to mark, to bear witness to the next moment. Time does not vanish. It just has nowhere to leave footprints. In that long sleep, even the smallest particles calm, like cosmic dust falling gently in silent space. Not change, no story, no seasons, no birth or death, only a perfect hush. Not an end, but a returning state. The universe's temperature drops, approaching an almost unimaginable figure, absolute zero. There, every vibration nearly stops. Motion becomes lazy, then vague, then dissolves into absolute stillness. We usually think of cold as sharp as a needle, but in the universe's final era, cold is tender, to the point of being imperceptible because there is no one left to feel it. This cold does not cut, It caresses. It covers everything like a black shawl, thin as near transparency, but gently encompassing all. And then, when the final vibrations fade, the universe drifts into total silence. No stories remain to tell. Or perhaps that is when the story truly begins. A question falls, light as a speck on the water. If everything dissolves into nothing, can nothing create something new? That question needs no answer. It only needs to be laid into the endless night to find its own path in the invisible current of time. Is this the universe's end, or just a deep breath before a new cycle? Is eternal night death, or the premise for another Big Bang? A new explosion born from this absolute silence? The universe may be asleep, not to vanish, but to prepare to awaken in a new form. No ending in the universe is absolute. Every ending is a pause between chapters. In that depth, emptiness is not as terrifying as we suppose. Emptiness is where possibilities sleep. It is where energy is no longer divided into objects. It is where the universe becomes a flat, calm lake, ready to reflect whatever may come after it. There is a strange beauty in this non-existence. The beauty of absolute stillness. No fluctuation, no pain, no collision, no conflict between light and dark. Because now, there is no light, and also no darkness. Only a wide, serene sea, colorless, soundless, shapeless, a place where absence itself becomes the most beautiful thing. When all is silent, we finally hear the universe's true breath. The universe may sink into eternal night, but from that darkness, something new may bloom again, like flowers blooming at a first dawn. And however the future of stars pans out, you, at this moment, in this present, are allowed to let go as if the universe breathes with you. You are the way the universe looks back at itself. Not a metaphor, not mere poeticizing, but a scientific conclusion so beautiful it reads like poetry. The carbon atoms in you were once forged in the fire of dead stars. The oxygen you inhale once drifted across the oceans of a young planet. Hydrogen in your cells is so ancient, it was formed minutes after the Big Bang. You are the universe's history, rearranged into a thinking body, capable of love, fear, getting lost, and finding the way back. You do not merely live in the universe, you are part of the story the universe tells about itself. When you sleep, your brain creates its own cosmos. Stars, dreams, stories that never actually happened. And somewhere out there, in deep space, the universe continues to expand, as if dreaming along with you. You dream of the universe, and the universe through you dreams of itself. Thank you for traveling with us through the darkness of the cosmos. Now let your body rest. Let everything dissolve into a slow breath. Sleep well, light as a star dissolving on the water,